and I've been extremely insecure about, pretty much everything that I have, whether it's how I look, how I talk, how I walk, the things that I've done, the things that I haven't done, pretty much almost, pretty much comparing myself to what people have and thinking that I'm not enough. And quite frankly, there'll be times where I could not even look in the mirror because I never thought that I was even good enough. And God has pretty much been dealing with me with that because I've also, in context of that, throughout my life, there have been plenty of times where I've sought validation from other people. And again, I don't know if that's anybody else's testimony, but that's something that God's been dealing with me on. And I'm just gonna get straight to it. I was looking at 1 Samuel 17, verses 32 through 40. And this is the story of course, everybody knows about the story of David and Goliath. It's funny, I was watching this message from Pastor Stephen Furtick.
I watched that too.
And man, he talked about how the story could have been a whole lot differently. And there's so many intricate details about David and Goliath's story that people may or may not pay attention to. That David could have David done some things, or he could have not done some things that could have, pretty much changed the trajectory of what we now know is quite possibly the greatest underdog story of all time. And so right now I'm gonna go to verse 32, and this is pretty much where Goliath is pretty much walking around like, yo, who gonna check me? Who gonna check me? Who want it? And like everybody is scared. And so those of you who may not know, David is the 8th son. He's the last of 8 sons. So he's the youngest and he's a teenager. And so it's funny how, everybody, all his brothers they're warriors, and he's the shepherd, he's doing all the dirty work. But the warriors are scared and afraid of Goliath. And Saul, which right now is pretty much like the ruler, he's even scared and afraid of Goliath. But in verse 32, this is the moment where David is trying to step up and like, yo, I think I can handle this. So David said, Master, don't give up hope. I'm ready to go and fight this Philistine. And Saul answered David, you can't go and fight this Philistine. You're too young and inexperienced. And he's been at this fighting business since before you were born. David said, I've been a shepherd tending sheep for my flock. Whenever a lion or a bear came and took a lamb from the flock, I'd go after it, knock it down, and rescue the lamb. If it turned on me, I'd grab it by the throat, wring its neck, and kill it. Lion or bear, it made no difference. I killed it. And I'll do the same to this Philistine pig who was taunting the troops of God alive. The God who delivered me from the teeth of the lion and the claws of the bear will deliver me from this Philistine. So Saul said, go, and God be with you. Translation. All right, cool, you got it. So then Saul, but this is the key point that God pointed out to me. Then Saul outfitted David as a soldier in armor. He put his bronze helmet on his head and belted his sword on him over the armor. So pretty much Saul was like, okay, you got it, but I'm gonna give you my armor. I'm gonna give you my bronze helmet, I'm gonna give you my armor, and I'm gonna give you my sword. But watch this, y'all. Then David pretty much took a few steps. And he was like, I can't move in this stuff. I'm not used to this. And he took it all off. And then David took his shepherd's staff, selected 5 smooth stones from the brook, and then put them in his pocket, and along with his shepherd's and his little sling, and he went ahead, get ready to fight Goliath. So man, to me, man, God showed me how that right there is so powerful, because now imagine, to this day, we right now would choose a sword over a slingshot. But in that moment, David was so confident in his slingshot over a sword and a bronze helmet. And now David took 2 steps with what God intended for pretty much God gave Saul his armor. God created armor that was specifically made and designed for Saul. But so David realized that he could not walk around with something else that was specifically designed and made for somebody else. And so he was confident enough in that he took it off. And no matter how it looks like this is a slingshot and the stones. Why you gonna go? Why you gonna go in there? Why you go with a sword? Now, I don't know if sexy is a bad word in church, but the sword is like the sexy thing. The sword is the bronze helmet is a sexy thing. But David was so confident in what God gave him. It worked for him because the lion's bed, it worked for him. And so he pushed aside everything that worked for someone else and chose what worked for him. And most people know by now, this specific thing that God gave him actually worked for him because he killed Goliath with the thing that God gave him. And so, man, I just, something that God's been dealing with me, man, and I just want to stay in, man, and just encourage everybody. Yes, everybody has talent, skills, abilities, but most importantly, everybody has intricate details about their life that God has created and designed, like, you to be. Like, you might be funny, you might be weird, you might be awkward, whatever. Like, for real, to be real, sometimes, man, I wish I was as smooth as Sean, man. Sean is like the smoothest guy I know, man. Like, sometimes, man, I wish, like, I could just talk like, yo, man, I wish I could talk as smooth as Sean. I wish I was as funny as DeMont. Oh, no. I wish, and back in my younger days, man, some of us, we used to watch, Steph growing up. I wish I had the presence, the stage presence like Steph. But God did not make me like that. That's right. All right. And God did not make you like the next man or the next woman. But God made and it's funny because last week when we had the band, I was a go-go fanatic. I went to everything, CFE, all that. I went to everything. So I had that in me, but I'm also an artist. And so I can connect with other people who are drawers, painters, all of that. And so what I did was, last week, I was chopping and dancing with the folks, but I was also walking around and seeing those people who might have a little anxiety, might feel worried, and might not feel like this is their space. And I walked around, connected with everybody. Yo, what game you playing? Oh, that's cool. What is this? What do you got to do? You got to jump over here, do over there, catch the coins. For real, that's cool, man. And then man, it was amazing. One cat, but like one little kid, man. I found out that, man, he's going to the 9th grade. Going to Suitland. I was like, man, you in the VPA program? He's like, yeah. He was like, I was like, yo, so what are you doing? Act, sing, dance, blah, blah. He's like, no, I'm an artist. I draw. I was like, yo, man, next time, man, congratulations. And he got it. I was like, yo, thank you, man, thank you. And Nate was like, yo, man, let me see you sometime next week. I want to see some of your work. And so God put things inside of me to be able to connect and minister to a specific group of people. And God did not put something in me, like there are things inside of me that I just can't connect with a certain group of people. And everybody in this room, no matter what you do, your job, no matter experiences you have, no matter the lack of experience you have, everything inside of you, God has designed you to minister to a specific group of people. Wow. So I just want to challenge everybody today, just like God is challenging me, to own your stuff, to embrace every part of you. Because if you don't embrace it, then you will miss ministering to the people that God has called you to minister to. And if I'm gonna leave you with this, your effectiveness is in your authenticity. Yes. So run it back. So your effectiveness is in your authenticity. Yes. So you can only be effective, you can only minister effectively to people when you truly be authentically the man or the woman that God created you to be.
Right.
That's it.
All right.